Good day, Mom. I'm Anselma Laurino and my assigned topic is critical literacy and the arts. The arts, literacies, and reality are dynamically linked, and understanding attained by critically reading aesthetic texts involves perceiving the relationship between the arts, its creator, and its context. The both practice and understanding of art forms and being critically literate are interconnected. Indeed, critical literacy makes possible a more adequate reading of the word, on the basis of which people can enter into rewriting the word into formation in which their interests, identities, and legitimate aspiration are more fully present and present more equally. So it means that critical literacy and the arts are represent an interconnected approach to learning where art is not just seen as a form of expression but as a powerful text that can be analyzed, questioned, and understood deeply. When we see that the arts, literacies, and reality are dynamically linked, this means that art does not exist in a vacuum. It is always connected to the real world, the person who created it, and the society and context in which it is made. To be critically literate means that when we look at, read, or create art, we do not just see it as something beautiful or entertaining. Instead, we analyze it to understand the relationship between the work itself, the artist, and the situation or background from which it came. Art practice and critical literacy go hand in hand. You cannot fully understand art without thinking critically, and you cannot develop deep critical thinking without engaging with art. When a person becomes critically literate through art, they gain a much richer understanding of the world. As I mentioned in the PowerPoint, it allows people to actively participate in rewriting how the word is understood and shaped. It gives space for different identities, interests, and legitimate goals to be seen and respected equally in society. In conclusion, combining critical literacy and the art transform art from just an object about making things into a powerful tool for thinking, understanding society, and empowering oneself. It teaches us that every artwork tells a story, carries a perspective, and influences reality, and it gives us the ability to read, understand, challenge, and create those stories truthfully and responsibly. Thank you.
Critical literacy and arts explain how art is connected to thinking deeply questioning ideas and understanding how message influence people and society. So, what is critical literacy? Critical literacy is not just about reading and looking at something, but also analyzing, questioning, and understanding the deeper meaning. In summary, critical literacy means understanding the deeper meaning of an artwork, questioning message and belief shown in art, recognizing how art influences people and society.
So, my assigned topic is Approach of Critical Literacy. Freedom Body and Doki 1990 developed a four-third approach to early reading instruction that has been widely adopted across the Australian schools. These approaches are necessary but not sufficient sets of social practices requisite for critical literacy. So first, we have the coding practices. It means is creating readable, maintainable, and efficient software through plain code. So consistency and testing. So second is test maintaining the practices. So what is the maintaining practices? Involve the interpreting, analyzing, and constructing meaning from various resources, including the traditional writing. So, multimedia and digital content. So, by employing the critical literacy, content evaluation, and dialogue. So, third is pragmatic practices. So, pragmatic practices is prioritize the actionable real-world result over the theoretical perfection, focusing on what works best for a specific situation. So the last is critical practices. So methodologies, behavior, or approaches that analyze, the evaluate, and improve upon existing systems. So often aiming to uncover hiding power, the dynamic, unintended, and consequences, or to enhance the performance. So that's all my assigned topic to my group.
So, good afternoon, ma'am. My assigned topic is all about textual analysis. So, textual analysis is the process of looking beyond the surface level of a piece of writing to understand its the deeper meaning. Instead of just asking, why did you see, you ask how and why it was written. It's involved to examine the author inside the audience. At the underlined, the assumption basis present the text by mathematical question and the materials. You can undercover how the text intend to influence the readers what the value is promotes. Sige, dito na ka muna. Artistic. Example of analysis, a luxury watch and advertisement. Imagine a magazine showing Sleep was a businessman, rich which is the caption for those who have already arrived. What is the subject? So, a luxury watch. So, why may the author have written it? So, to proceed wealthy and individuals to buy the product by the linking to success and the status. So, who is it the rated for? The high income earning or people who inspired to looks and successful. We do this we know this because of the praise already arrive metaphor for reaching a top of one's career. So, what is the value does the author assume and the reader holds? So, the author assumes the reader value social status, material weight, wealth, and being recognized as a successful. Who will be left out of the text? So, people in lower income markets or these who the value minimalism and practically the overstatus symbols. The language implies it if that arrives. So how is the reader position? So the reader position as the insider or member of the elite club, some who deserve the best, it's because their hard work and status. That's all.
Another approach for analyzing text is to use a checklist such as SCARS, credibility, accuracy, reasonableness, support. Originally developed for evaluating websites according to Alata and Ignacio 2019. Credibility. Evidence at authenticity and reliability is very important. Tests that help the reader judge and credibility of a text include examining the author's credential and the quality of content. It is necessary to look for biographical details on their education, training, and experience in an area relevant to the information by asking. Though they provide contact information like email or postal address and phone numbers, What do you know about the author's reputation or previous publication? Information text should pass through a review process where several readers examine and approve the content before it is published. Statements issued in the name of an organization have almost always have seen and approved by several people. Credibility. Credibility means how trustworthy and reliable a piece of information is. To judge it, you check who wrote it, their qualification, and how the information was reviewed before being published. Reliable text information usually comes from experts, provide contract details, and are reviewed or approved by others like editor or organization. For example, an article about health written by a licensed professional doctor and published on hospital website is more credible than a random blog post or no other name of sources. Accuracy. Information needs to be up to date, factual, detailed, exact, and comprehensive. Things to bear in mind when judging accuracy include timelines and comprehensiveness. We must therefore be careful to note when information was created before deciding whether it is still of value. It is always a good idea to consult more than one text. Indicators that a text is inaccurate, either in whole or in part, include the absence of a date or an old date on information known to change rapidly, vague or sweeping generalization, and failures to acknowledge opposite views. Next is accuracy. Accuracy means the information is correct, updated, specific, and also complete. To check accuracy, look at when it was published, if it gives specific fact, not vague statements, and whether it considers different following viewpoints, and it also better to compare with other sources. Like for example, a news article about current prices that was published yesterday, so it's more accurate than from 5 years ago, especially if prices changes often. Vague means not clear or not specific enough. Reasonableness. Reasonableness involves examining the information for fairness, objectivity, and moderateness. Fairness requires the writer to offer a balanced argument and to consider claims made by people with opposing views. A good information text will have a calm, reasoned tone, arguing, presenting thoughtfully. Like comprehensiveness, objectivity is difficult to achieve or material. Good writers, however, try to minimize bias. Next is reasonableness. Means the information is fair, balanced, and objective. The writer should present both sides, avoid extreme or emotional language, and keep calm, logical tone. And a good writer try to reduce bias even if complete objectivity is hard. And also a good writer try to minimize bias. Like for example, while some students or people support online classes for convenience, others argue that face-to-face learning is more effective for understanding the lesson. So both sides present valid points. So a balanced approach may be the best solution. Support. Support for the writer's arguments from other sources strengthens their credibility. It can take various forms such as writing, bibliography, and references, and collaboration. It is a good idea to triangulate information, that is to find at least 3 texts that agree. If the other texts do not agree, further research into the range of opinion or disagreement is needed. Readers should be careful when statistics are presented without identifying the sources, or when they cannot find any other text that present to acknowledge the same information. So last is the support. So kapag may support, mas nagiging credible ang arguments because hindi lang sariling opinion. Ito ay may basihan sa iba't ibang studies, references o bibliography. So maganda rin ang triangulation kung saan nahanap ka ng at least 3 sources na pare-pareho ang sinasabi. Kapag hindi sila tugma, so kailangan pang mag-research para mas maintindihan ang iba't ibang views. Dapat din mag-ingat sa mga statistic na walang sources. Maybe hindi ito totoo or maybe not be reliable. So, for example, according to the 3 different studies from DeepAid, WHO, and UNICEF, proper hand washing significantly reduces the spread of diseases, providing that hygiene practices are effective and necessary. So, meron siyang 3 sources. In evaluating information using CARS, credibility, accuracy, reasonableness, and support, help ensure that texts are trustworthy, reliable, fair, and well supported by credible evidence from multiple sources.
Good afternoon, everyone. My assigned topic is all about text clustering. Text clustering involves confronting students with texts which obviously conducted each other. The task is to use whatever evidence they can find to try to make judgment about where the truth actually lies. Sometimes these judgments are related easily. News reports, peer tools, everyday tasks are good materials for text clustering. These methods develops analytic skills by prompting learning evaluated conflict viewpoints, often using accessible materials like news report, peer tales, and daily text, making in some cases that evaluation straightforward. So in text clustering it's like a teaching strategies where students compare different texts that may present oppositely or conflictly idea. Learners analyze evidence from the text to decide which information is accurate or believable. This activity helps students improve their critical thinking, analytic skills, and ability to evaluate information carefully. Lastly, the importance of critical thinking. First, we have increases confidence in our ability to analyze and evaluate information. Second, helps us make informed decisions, problem solve, and cope with challenges. Third is empower us to trust the choices and decisions we make. The fourth is aids us in adapting to change more effectively and positively. The last is improve our ability to recognize facts, opinion, and manifestation. So the importance of critical thinking lies is helping people make wise decisions and solve problems efficiently. It allows individuals to analyze information, recognize facts and information, and adapt to change So that's all for my assigned topic, and thank you for listening. God bless you, everyone.